Hey everyone, it's Mark the Tax Wit, and the IRS has updated their portal on their website about the Advanced Child Tax Credit. So this is your Tax Tip Thursday, Advanced Child Tax Credit Edition, Part 3. All right, here's what we're talking about. Opting out. Now, I've talked about opting out in my last couple of videos. Why would you want to opt out of money coming to you, either by direct deposit or in the mail? Well, there's a few good reasons. Number one, as I said last time, if you want to have a big refund all at once in April, you don't want to, have a little bit of money coming in every month from now till the end of the year. That's one reason. But if you like having those payments, then don't opt out. Second reason, if you are worried about your income going up or going up where you're above that $150,000, because then you might not get all of that $3,000 child tax credit, and you're going to want to not have to pay it back or have less of a refund because you're paying back that advance credit. So that's the second reason. Third reason is if you have decided or you have a joint custody situation where your child is being switched back and forth for one child tax credit 1 year to the next year you not having the child tax credit. If in 2020 you had the kid, but in 2021 you don't, you definitely want to opt out. And you want to tell the person you're sharing custody with that they want to do that if it's not their year. All right, so let's talk about how to do it, how to advance, how to opt out. All right, so here is the irs.gov website. Right at the front page, you see Get Answers for the Advanced Child Tax Credit. This is the button you're going to want to push on or click. Okay. All right. So once you're here, you're going to see Advanced Child Tax Credit Payments, and you have two different sections. This is the non-filers. Do not pass go. Do not click on this unless you are someone who doesn't file taxes. Not hasn't filed taxes, doesn't file taxes. So don't go near that. Here's the one you're going to want to click on, Unenroll from Advanced Payments. We'll walk through that whole process right now. Here it gives you a little bit of information. Important changes to the child tax credit. It's getting money early to people, taxpayers, half the total credit amount. It gives you a little bit of information, and it tells you that this tool, the portal, is where you can view your eligibility, view the advanced payments you've already had, or if you're once they start sending them out on July 15th, and unenroll from getting advanced payments. That's the thing we're going to do this time. What you need is you have to have an account already with the IRS. I'm going to walk you through that process, or with ID.me, which I've heard is kind of a little bit trickier to get through. And also, if you don't have either of those set up, you're going to want to have your photo identification ready. All right, here we go. That's for ID.me anyway. Okay. All right. So here is sign in or create a new account. If you have an ID.me, then that's what you want to click there and use that. If you have an existing IRS username, that's where you can go in and check and see the status of your stimulus. You can request transcripts, things like that. It really is probably a good idea if you can sign up for this account. This is a good excuse to get that done now, and you'll use that going forward for other options. Or you can create a new ID.me account. You'll notice it doesn't say on here how to create a new IRS username. There's a workaround. I'll show you how to get to that. And it also tells you, what if I can't verify my identity? There's some other ways of doing it. I'm not going to get into that today. And also has a button here you can click, which tells you a little bit about what is ID.me, but it is a government-sponsored program that, is a way to verify your identity. Okay. All right. Okay, next we're going to, so this is an ID.me account. If you have an ID.me account, you can hit sign in here. If you want to enroll, you need your email. You can create an ID.me account here, or you can sign in with Facebook, Google, LinkedIn. Personally, I don't know how much information you want to share with those other companies, so it's up to you. But we're going to skip forward and go to the IRS. So make sure you know your username. Your username is not an email address, but right here, That's where the username will go in, and you'll hit log in. You'll get this little red error if you don't know your username. You can click that button saying, I forgot my username, and they'll send you a link to your email with your username. Although I have to say, I tried that with someone earlier and they never got the email. So that might be a tougher situation. I'm not sure if their system's online for that. So if you forget username, you put your email and the last 4 digits of your social security number. You'll get the email. Hopefully you'll get the username, and it'll tell you, hey, if there was an account with that information, we've sent that username to that email address. It's not going to send you anything if you don't have an account. So if you think, well, maybe back in 2018, I might have created an account, I don't remember. Well, that's where you'll find out by sending the email. If you don't get it, you're going to have to start over. Okay. All right. So here's the let's get started. This is by the way, let me go back here and show you. Right here on one of these slides, it said right here, if you forgot your username, remember how I didn't have a slide button, a button that said create an IRS account? You can go back and do it on the IRS page, but if you just click here, you can re-register right here. All right. So let's get started. You have to put your first name as it appears in your tax return, your last name as it appears in your tax return, your email address that you want to use for creating this account, and then confirm the email address. And it's going to send a code to your email once you get through to that page. All right. Then it'll say, we just sent a confirmation code to, it'll say the email address, double check for spelling, make sure it's there. The code is valid for 24 hours. So, you could send the code request, go about your day, go on a nice run, go out to dinner, come back, and you'll have the code. It'll still work. It's not one of those ones that expires in 10 minutes. Enter the one-time code right here. And if you didn't receive the code, you can request to resend the email. So far, it's pretty simple. Next, help us verify your identity with some basic information. Once you've put it in, it'll have your name here and there. I've blocked it out for this example, but your name, your first and last name will be there. You put in your date of birth, your social security, and your filing status saying, I have filed a tax return in the 7 years, or I've not filed. Now, it says filing status, but I think it's not necessarily asking if you're married, filing joint, or single, or anything like that. It's just asking for information about your most recently filed tax return. And you have put your address information right there. All right. Once you get verified there, now you have to do something with a financial record that the IRS has access to. This is to verify that you're not some guy who is hacking into your account trying to create an account. You have to have the last 8 digits of a Visa, MasterCard, or Discover card, not a debit card, not a corporate card, and not some cards issued by banks in U.S. territories. Student loan account number, auto loan account number. By the way, they can't do Nelnet, which a lot of people I know have Nelnet, so that's kind of a stupid option. Auto loan account number, mortgage or home equity loan account number has to be in your name. Home equity line of credit or a home equity line of credit account number. I did this with someone. We called the bank. The number did not work. So that one I'm a little suspect on. I'm not sure. If you don't have a current credit card, student loan, there is a alternative method of identifying yourself. I can't go through that whole step here, but it is a possibility. If you have issues with that, let me know. I'd be curious to how that went. And it just says they're only using this to verify who you are. It's a soft inquiry on your credit. It's not going to show up on lenders, but it will just show that you did, actually request this. Then they're going to send an activation code text message to your phone, and you have to log in. So again, this is just verifying who you are. You put the 6-digit code number in, and then you got to create your username, which tells you the rules on that. It can't have an @ sign in it. It can't be an email address. It's got to be an actual username, 8 to 64 characters. Password between 8 and 32 characters, has to have a special character and at least one number, one letter. And then your email is in there, and then catchphrase that you put in something here. I put something about a sports team that I like. I'm sure it involves the New York Rangers. That will be right in there. And then you pick a picture. It can be, there's a soccer ball. There's There's no hockey puck, but there's some cool things on there like a bike or something that you'll just want to recognize that whenever you log in. Next here, the email, it's going to say update your email address. If you like, in this case, maybe, you realize you'd already registered with that email. You could put a new email in here and resend the email confirmation code. Success, you verified your identity, created a secure user profile. It's going to say again, the IRS will send email notifications to confirm registration and profile changes, but will never send unsolicited emails. They won't send you an email saying, you owe money, send it to us now. And then the address is somewhere in a foreign country. Probably not the IRS. Okay, it's definitely not the IRS. All right, next thing, you're finally here. After all that, you're at the Child Tax Credit Update portal. Welcome, and it says your name right on there. It's got your email address up there. Manage your advanced payments of the child tax credit. Find out if you're eligible. This is authorized by the American Rescue Plan Act. Half the total credit will be paid in advance, or you'll get the other half when you file your 2021 tax return. Eligibility. Your eligibility status is based on your 2019 tax return on file. Sometimes it'll say 2020. It'll tell you what year is on file. So, eligible, yes. Status, enrolled in advance payments. Payments, if you're eligible, it tells you which payments. You can click on this down here, but there's no payments that have been processed yet. Now, the only thing that's interesting here is that with this person, it does say it's talking about 2019. It could be that 2020 hasn't been processed yet. So I'm not sure. We'll have to see how this goes for people. If it says 2019, but you're trying to unenroll based on your 2020 for 2021, you just gotta, I think if you unenroll, you're safe if you know that 2021 isn't your year to claim your child. So manage your advance payments. So it shows you down here more details about the payments. You can choose to unenroll from the payments. To decide if unenrolling is best for you, see questions and answers, and they can give you some of the kind of things I've talked about, whether you want all payment at once, and there are certain situations like we've talked about. But there's the button you're going to want to click, unenroll from payments. Next, it says right here, you're choosing to unenroll from receiving these payments. You're telling us you don't want to receive them. If your most recently filed tax return was a joint return, here's where it gets really tricky, and it's going to probably mess up a lot of people. Your spouse will also need to unenroll. Unenrolling is an individual action. If your spouse does not unenroll, so your spouse is going to get half of the payment, and you're not going to get your half. You still could end up, paying back that money. So you've got to be on the same page with whoever you're filing jointly with. You each have to go through this long process. All right. And again, once you unenroll, you can't re-enroll. It's only for this 6 months, so I'm not sure about years down the road if they do it every year, if you can go back to it. But once you do this, you can't go back in and change it. So you've got to really know you want to make this move. So you hit the I understand and want to proceed. Then all fields with an asterisk are required. Yes, I would like to unenroll. I understand I can't enroll again. You're agreeing not to receive the payments, and I can't go back in and change my mind. I agree to unenroll. You check that box and hit submit. And that's really scary at that point. Then you successfully submitted your request to unenroll. Yay, there should be a little confetti that shows up, but it doesn't. It may take 7 days to process your unenrollment. So you want to do this as early as possible before July 7th, because that would make sure it's going to be done before July 14th. This is the government we're talking about. So as you see, this request, it tells you when the request was submitted, and that was on June 24th, which is today. And then you go back to your update, and you can go back and look and see about your process payments. I hope this is helpful in how to do this. The big takeaway from this is both you and your spouse have to do this. And once you've done it, you can't go back to getting the payments. Anyway, I'm Mark the Tax Wit. That's your Tax Tip Thursday. See you next time. I'm sure there'll be an update soon with the IRS. Have a good one.